it over to Layla, who's going to be talking about giving introductions. So Layla, please.
If you, Layla.
Poppy.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
All right. Your name? Hello, Poppy.
Layla.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to support you.
So Layla, please ask Poppy to start with what's her name and where she's from.
Oh my God. Okay. Poppy, your name and where you're from. Poppy.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, Layla. I'm Poppy, and I'm from BMX, and I know Layla.
Well done.
And I'm from Pluckley, South East of England.
Well done, Poppy. Zach? Hello.
Okay. Hello. Sorry, the gardeners happen to be right outside my window right now, so it's good timing. But my name is Zach. I'm from Jazz Hands For Autism. I am the job placement coordinator with the organization, and I live in Los Angeles.
Brandon, is it? Brandon? Hello. Brandon. Unmute. Hello.
Brandon, you're on mute.
Brandon. Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes.
Can you hear me now? I'm sorry. I thought I wasn't on mute. My apologies. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brandon Moore, and I'm also from Los Angeles. And my stage name is Chocolate Slim.
I love it.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jazz Hands.
Hi, Layla.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Ifunanya. I am the executive director at Jazz Hands For Autism, and I live in California. I live in Los Angeles specifically, sunny Los Angeles.
I love your background. It keeps changing. That is so cool.
Thank you.
And is it Rusky? Michael, is it Rusky?
Yeah, the next person's going to be Riku. Riku, say your name.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was saying Rusky. Sorry, Riku.
By all means.
Hello.
Hey, Layla, how are you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm Riku Turpin and waiting for nice opportunity to participate today.
It's just you've got a really nice husky voice, but you keep breaking, and it's quite hard to hear you.
Yeah, great to hear it from you too.
Okay. Mark? Hello, Mark.
Hello there, I'm Jim from Scotland. It's cold over here.
Have you cut your hair?
Yes, did it last Monday night. Had to get it done.
Why cut your hair? Aren't you cold?
No, it's like that. Shh. Like somebody.
Oh, you look quite nice last week. Oh.
I need to get it done. I had to get it done.
Oh, okay.
I can't go to bed.
Layla, we want to just go a little, if you can, a little quicker because we want to make sure we get to Jazz. That's okay.
Chloe? Is it Chloe? Chloe? Is it Chloe?
I think she's on the phone. Let's skip to Michael.
Okay. Michael? Michael?
Hi, Layla. How are you? Yeah, hi. Yeah, Michael from Cole, Scotland.
Okay. Meryl? Meryl.
No, it's going to be Keith next. Keith.
Okay.
It's okay.
Keith, hello.
Hiya. Hi, everyone. I'm not very far from Michael in cold Scotland, so welcome, everyone. Look forward to hearing you today.
Okay. Cynthia? Cynthia.
Cindy.
Oh, Cindy. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't recognize my name. I'm Cindy from Finland, where it's also nice and cold and sunny.
Hello.
Hello. Elizabeth?
Yes, hi, greetings, welcome. My name's Elizabeth and I'm in Los Angeles. And I don't know if you folks from Jazz Hands remember, but we hosted you about 4 years ago at Founders. You had an event together with the Strindberg Laboratory. We did a play and we had your awesome people there, and it was a great success. And I'm so happy to see you here now. So congratulations and welcome. And I'm really excited. Dominique is not available, so he asked me to step in for him today. But he's gonna see it in the recording, so he's very excited as well. So thank you for coming on today.
Cassia? I've never known.
Yes, thank you, Leila. Hi, everyone.
How are you? Sorry.
It's okay, don't worry. Yes, thank you. I'm from Poland. We have almost night now, a lot of snow. So I'm very excited for Jazz Hands for Autism and can't wait. Thank you.
Okay. Sam? Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Sam Williams. You know, I'm a songwriter, producer, arranger, #1 oldies fan here with Jazz Hands for Autism and currently located in LA. So
Cool. Hello, Kevin.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
Yes, I'm from Connecticut. It's a little icy out there, but otherwise I'm indoors, staying warm, and I'm really looking forward to today. Thank you.
Okay. Nyla? Oh. Michael?
Yeah, it's Naomi.
Naomi.
Hi, I'm Naomi. I'm calling from Chatham Medway, UK.
Okay.
It's cold over here.
I know. And then next one, next to Naomi, Michael.
It's going to be Neasley.
Neasley.
Oh, okay.
Think of your niece.
Oh, okay.
And then add a lead to it.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. This is Neasley.
Hello.
I am somewhere in Los Angeles, and I am not sure where your other Los Angeles people are, but where I am, it is not sunny. The sun came out for 2 seconds and it retreated, and it is now cold and cloudy. But I'm excited to be here to hear you guys, and welcome.
Okay. Welcome. There you go, Michael. Done.
Athena? It's Athena.
Yeah.
Hi, Athena.
Hello.
Why don't you say your name and where you're from?
I'm from Kent.
Welcome, Athena. And I think that's everybody. Welcome, Suki from the UK. Thank you so much, Layla. Yay, great job. Very good. And now, without further ado, we're going to turn over to Jazz Hands.
Awesome, awesome. Wow, this is so exciting. We have like a global presence here. So I'm just so happy to hear everyone from the UK, from Europe, you know, from over here in the US. So it's great to meet you guys. You guys, welcome to No Limits, No Walls, the Jazz Action Mondays, the Jazz Hands edition. We're really happy to be here. You guys already heard from Zach, Brandon, and Sam. We are all from Jazz Hands for Autism, and I'm just going to start out by telling you some things about Jazz Hands. So bear with me. Essentially, we are based here in Los Angeles, and our whole mission is to create avenues and opportunities for musicians who have autism to be able to not just express their talents and share their talents with the world apparently right now, but also to be employed and to get paid for their talents, for their musical talents. We offer several different programs. Our biggest program is the Jazz Hands Musicians Academy. And at the Jazz Hands Musicians Academy, musicians who are on the autism spectrum can learn various different things as it relates to music. So you can learn about, you know, how to play your instrument, whether it's guitar, drums, piano, whether you're singing. We also provide performance coaching. We provide digital branding. So how to even get your music, you know, on your social media and how to promote yourself. We offer composition classes. We also offer like work readiness training, career coaching. So essentially and then we also help you find opportunities for you to perform and be paid for that, like I said. So Jazz Hands, essentially, we're like an artist development organization, an artist promotion and organization. So if there's anybody here who's on the autism spectrum who's interested in music, please do contact us. I'll leave my email in the chat, and maybe we can be a resource to you. And the great thing is that we're actually going to be moving. We've moved all of our classes online, so anybody from anywhere in the world can be able to access our classes. So if you want more information about that, please let me know. And so, like I said, so that is essentially who we are at Jazz Hands. Now I want to give you a little bit more of an introduction of each of the Jazz Hands family members that are here. So I'll start with Zach. So Zach already told you, you already know his name, but let me tell you, like, Zach music has been part of Zach's life for over 20 years, whether he was performing, recording music, or working in the music business. And he's worked with legendary artists such as Mariah Carey, Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, just to name a few. And now he essentially is our talent agent at Jazz Hands, and he's working on behalf of our musicians to help them achieve their career aspirations. So Zach is our job placement coordinator at Jazz Hands. He is the individual that really helps our musicians find opportunities where they can share their gifts and their musical talents. Up next, we have two of our performers. We have Brandon here. He's a lead guitarist, principal songwriter, future guitar god, and like he mentioned earlier, his stage name is Chocolate Slim. And then last but not least, we have Sam, who is Mr. Perfect Pitch, Mr. Walking Encyclopedia of 60s music, Mr. Multi-Instrumentalist. He plays 4 different instruments, if you want to know. He's a producer, arranger, and a songwriter extraordinaire. And so today we have a really, really great treat for you. Both Brandon and Sam are very, very, I'll call them expert musicians in their field. So they're gonna show us a little bit about show us a little bit about their music, show you what they do, and then we're here to answer questions just about their process as musicians, as songwriters. You know, today's Action Mondays, so we want to be able to leave you all with some actionable steps. If after today you want to go write a song, we will give you some tips on how to do that. So pay close attention, and without further ado, we're gonna start out the performance portion with Brandon. He's gonna do a live performance. So please listen in. I will just ask just one favor. If everyone can be on mute while Brandon is performing, that way we can all be able to hear him, okay? So I'm gonna go back on mute, and then Brandon's gonna unmute, and he's gonna give us a little taste of his talent, okay?
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You guys, can you just get a huge round of applause for Brandon, please? Brandon, amazing, amazing. That was like, I forgot I wasn't even on Zoom, you know, just listening to your performance, you know, it was so good. Thank you so much, Brandon. So I want to pause before we go into our next performance. I want to ask if you, I want to ask you a question, Brandon. Sure. So with your music, right, is there like a message that you hope to communicate to the audience through your music?
Yeah, basically my music, just like anyone else's, I think it's just to convert different emotions. Like when you listen to a song, you know, let's say if you listen to a happy song, you want to go into a happy place. If you listen to a love ballad, or, you know, you hear someone sing about heartbreak, you know, you could understand and sympathize or understand that person's pain and emotions and what they're going through, whether it's a breakup of a girlfriend or a boyfriend or vice versa, or a loss of a loved one. Yeah, I just want my music to have some type of emotions, you know, or like in my case, the song that I guys played, which by the way is called The Killing Joke, that one's just to make you just want to just break stuff around your house if like someone upsets you or in any way, shape, or form, you know, or just be like mad or just like want to punch the wall or just like get your aggressions out, you know, or, you know, something like that in a very constructive way though. So that's what I believe my music, what I want my music to be, is just a range of emotions, you know. It's not just one emotions, because we as people were very complex people and we're very different, you know. We have our good days, we have our bad days, we have our happy moments, we have our sad moments, we have our good times and bad times, and anything and everything in between. So
definitely, thank you so much. And so, okay, so repeat the name of the song, and is that an original song or is that a cover song?
Okay, so it's called The Killing Joke, and it is an original song. Wow. It's based off of the graphic novel of Batman, and the origin story of the Joker, which there's been so many facets of it, but it's a very famous graphic novel by a gentleman by the name of Brian Poland, I believe, or Boland. And yeah, they wrote the story, I think back in like in the mid to late 80s, and I actually have my own copy of it, which I will show you. So this is the book that inspired this riff. So for anybody who can see, but if not, I'll just tell you what it is. It's Alan Moore and Brian Boland, Batman: The Killing Joke, the deluxe edition, introduction by Tim Sale. So it's a very famous graphic novel book, and also I've just been always fascinated with the whole duality of, you know, good versus evil, because that's what essentially is, even though it's really written about the Joker, his origin story, and him just wanting somebody to have a really bad day and have it hit close to home with Batman, with a certain character that he cares for very much, who's in great danger, and then it's up to Batman to kind of stop the Joker in some form or fashion. And the Joker's mission not only is to have someone have a bad day, but to make Batman laugh, which there's a very interesting twist at the end of the story. So I'll just leave it at that. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, later on, we're going to talk more about just, you know, like what inspires you to write music. But sure. Is there anywhere that, you know, anybody who's listening here today, who's watching, where can they find your music? Do you have anything online? Are there things in production?
So in about a month, I am going to be getting together with my band to hopefully start rehearsing, jamming, and start writing for our soon-to-be debut EP/demo, and then hopefully we can have something out later on by this year. I want it to be preferably by summer, but if not, then we'll move it to the fall. But sometime this year, we will have music out for everybody in all the as much platforms as we can, whether it's YouTube or, you know, Spotify or any other links and stuff like that.
Awesome. Okay, this is good to know. So, so everybody who's here, we'll talk with Mary and Michael. And we'll make sure that you guys can, once the music is out, we'll make sure that you guys are able to access it or able to get the links to it. So stay tuned. Okay, so thank you so much, Brandon. Up next, we're going to have Sam. So Sam is actually doing a recorded performance. So we wanted to kind of show you guys a little bit of both sides, so both a live performance and a recorded performance. And so up next, we're going to go into Sam's performance, but it's a pre-recorded video. So I'm going to pass the baton to Mary to be able to show the video. Okay, so you guys just stay tuned. Okay. And then after we show the video, then we'll also ask Sam a couple of questions, and then we'll go into just more deeper questions, and then also the Q&A, so where you guys can ask questions too.
Hey guys, my name is Sam Williams, and today I'm going to be playing for you guys one of my original songs. It comes out under my new stage name, Sam L. Williams. It just came out with the A side of the Turquoise Apricot, and the song I'm playing for you guys right now. It's called She Said No. It's on the B side.
Let me minimize this. Oh.
Everything was going exactly the way I thought it would be. I felt so good I was going to get to move the girl of my dreams. I felt so happy coming home from getting a taste of what I would get.
Oh, we did it.
But little did I know that at the time I didn't see anything yet. We tried to plan it out over the phone, but that's when I realized I would wind up alone. She said no. She said no. I never understood the reason why, but I knew I had to let that one go. She said no. She said no. And even though it happened many years ago, I've been able to get over the fact that she said no. I got so excited I was going to do what I've always wanted to do. I was getting really tired of doing the same old thing and eager to try something new. You can't imagine just how I felt when I got my first taste of success. And the girl that I've always wanted to move at first firmly said yes. But when our plans fell through and out the front door, she said, I'm not sure if I want to do this anymore. She said no. She said no. I never understood the reason why, but I knew I had to let that one go. She said no. She said no. And even though it happened many years ago, I've been able to get over the fact that she said no. watching again, my name is Sam Williams. That song you just heard where She Said No comes out under my new stage name, Sam L. Williams. Turquoise Apricot is the A-side, She Said No is the B-side. Please follow me on Spotify and appreciate it for listening. Thanks.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you so much. Let me get, okay, so I can see everybody. So can we give Sam a round of applause, please? Awesome. Thank you so much. So Sam, I have the same question for you as well. I would like to know, what is the message, or is there a message that you hope to communicate through your music?
Yeah, there is. You know, I when it comes to my songs and my music, I hope to be a good, person that a lot of guys who really have a hard time struggling to, if let's just say they're, they want to be in romantic relationships, or they don't feel very confident with, going on dates and getting further along than just, having just, friends, with girls. I want to be the guy that, they can relate to, a guy that, has been through a lot of hardships with doing that, and, has gone through just tough experiences with, getting those kind of opportunities. And I want to be the guy that they can relate to and be like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. And, I want to be able to relate to them on a very personal level. And that's what my songs are really about, so, and it could be for girls too. I mean, it's basically for most people who have a struggle with doing that and experience a lot rejection and just unrequited love and just things that, that's the kind of message I want to send. It's for people. With my music, I've kind of bared my soul onto my lyrics and saying, hey, I'm not the most confident guy when it comes to girls. And, I'm hoping that a lot of other guys who feel the same way I do will be able to relate to me in some way. And, I can also relate to them. So. Oh,
and so interestingly enough, we have a question that relates to what you were just mentioning, like your song is a means of expressing your innermost feelings. So somebody asked, Jim specifically asked, do you feel like it's easier to express yourself through songs, Sam?
Yeah, because I feel like when it comes to music, I have the ability to tell a story pretty well, but I'm also able to, once I kind of figure out if I'm, who I'm talking to specifically, if I write a song about somebody, or I have an experience that I feel like is worth sharing about, then it's really easy for me to just sort of dial in those lyrics and create something that is complete in that regard. So
awesome. And
I mean, it's hard to write from like imagination, but once I have something real that happens, that's when the real stuff comes through,
So, okay, so I have another question to build upon that. And so after I ask you this question, I'm also going to ask Brennan the same question. So firstly, Sam, so tell us about your songwriting / creative process. So when you have an experience, how do you turn that experience into music? What's your process of doing that?
Well, a lot of times with me is that, a lot of times what happened is that there's a couple different ways it can happen. A lot of times I'll have like a title of the song, or all the experience I have will lead into a title. But then once I have the experience, the song kind of writes itself in a way that I'm able to figure out, like, because one thing I know is that once I have the experience and once I have the rhyme structure down, then that's when I'm able to accurately write lyrics. Because the thing is that when you write lyrics, you have to understand rhyme structure and iambic pentameter. And since I have that down to science, and once I figured that out, and also once I had the experience when some things actually happened to me, then that's when the title will happen. Because usually when I have the title for the song, that's when the song pretty much writes itself. So that's basically how I kind of operate. But as far as going the other way around, as far as music is concerned, one tip I can offer people is when it comes to writing chord progressions and whatnot, I would just say learn the rules of music theory and then break them. you know, because once you kind of know like the rules of theory, and once you you know, it's great, but as soon as you start breaking, that's when the real creativity happens. You know, a lot of the greatest musicians, you know, that ever walked this face of the earth, they learned those music theory rules, but then they broke them, you know, and that's how they came up with really, really good, amazing songs, you know. So
awesome, thank you, Sam. I think that makes sense. So if you guys in the chat, I'm typing up just some key messages from what Sam is saying, just in case you just wanted me to pull some things out. I see a question in the chat from Naomi to Sam, but Naomi, give me a moment. Let me ask Brennan the same question that I asked Sam, and then we're going to come back to your question. So Brennan, tell us about your creative process, because I mean, and you spoke a little bit about it earlier when it comes to, you know, the book inspiring your original song. So tell us about how do you go from reading a book to actually creating a song that is inspired by the book? What's your process? What are the steps?
So with me, there's really no formula. Sometimes it could be, I could have lyrics before I even come up with music, but at least the last couple of years, it's been mostly just listening to a lot of music of like my favorite bands, a list of favorite artists from different genres. And then if there's a certain chord progression or a certain lick on the guitar that I like, that I want to learn, I learn that, and then afterwards I build a whole song off of that, basically. So I'll take like a little chunk and then just create my own version of it, you know, and it's enough to sound familiar, but it's enough to be new to someone else's ears who may have never heard the actual original source of material. So that's kind of how I usually come up with music. Other times I also will, you know, if I'm listening to, let's say, a lot of hip hop or rap, I will beatbox and, you know, because I like maybe the certain drum beat or the pattern, and then I will duplicate that with my mouth. And then sometimes I will go tell my drummer, I want you to do this, and I will actually beatbox him the drum pattern that I'm looking for, or we'll actually play him the song and stuff like that. So there's different ways of how I come up with my music and stuff. And also, you know, I watch a lot of movies, and then I try to find too, just based off of my surroundings or how my day was feeling. And sometimes I'll just write stuff down, not necessarily lyrics, but just like facts, like, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened. And then you try to make a song out of it. Or sometimes you could, I like to go into my own imagination and create a like what if scenarios, and then I write that down and then, you know, try to make a song out of it. So it comes in different ways for me and stuff.
Awesome. Okay, great. And so, so really quickly, let's go back to the question that Naomi and also Poppy also had the same question. Sam, how do you feel when you're playing or listening to music?
Generally, if I'm listening to music that I absolutely love so much, I feel absolutely great. You know, when I listen to music and when I play music that I'm just in love with so much, because the thing is that I have kind of an eclectic taste in music, in the sense that I'm not one of those people that loves every single genre of music under the sun. There's a lot of stuff out there that I'm just not a fan of. It's just not my cup of tea. But when I'm listening to the music that I grew up listening to ever since I was a kid, and the stuff that I love and the stuff that I just can't get enough of, or I hear a song from one of my favorite artists, you know, that I grew up listening to that I've never heard before, and I'm like, oh my God, this song's amazing. I mean, honestly, like I'm in heaven, you know. I absolutely just can't get enough of it, you know. But again, it's like there's a lot of stuff out there I'm just not a fan of, and I don't want to be too negative and, you know, say what those genres are, but I'm not one of those people that loves every single thing that's out there. A lot of people are like, oh, I like everything. I'm like, no, I'm not like that, you know. So when I'm listening to stuff that I absolutely love, I'm overjoyed, you know.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you so much. We have a couple more questions for you, and we have one question from Silent Suki. I'm not sure, that's the name that I see here. And the question is for Sam. It says, do you write theme songs that can be used as part of a video intro, like a skateboarding video? Interesting.
The thing is with me is that I write songs. I don't really write instrumental cues, if that's what they're asking. I'm one of those people that I kind of go from a lyric, chord, melody sort of place when it comes to you know, to like writing songs. So, you know, I'm not one of those people that can write super short pieces of music, you know, because I like to kind of write complete songs, you know. So I'm not one of those people that can write just like, you know, stupid little instrumental cues. But, you know, so to answer your question, it'll probably be no.
So interesting, Sam. So one thing that came to my mind as you were speaking, and we have another question in the chat. So Keith, I see your question. What came to my mind is so sometimes a person can even if it's not necessarily like a short cue, is it possible for your music to be used on video? Like is that a goal you have to
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have, you know, instrumental versions of my songs, and you know, they, you know, basically, you know, different stems of my songs that have already been recorded and you know, and mixed and mastered and everything. Yeah, they definitely can be used for different things, you know, so I'm definitely open for that. But it's just writing like a little piece of music for something specific. I just don't have that. I'm not the kind of musician who does that, if you know what I mean. So
definitely. Okay, great, thank you. So we have, oh my God, we have so many questions coming in the chat. Okay, so from Keith, we have from Keith. Oh, Poppy, did you have a question?
Yes, only for Sam. How long have you been writing your own songs, Sam?
Poppy, was it, how long has it been writing songs? How long?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Poppy. Okay, so how long have you been writing songs, Sam, and also Brandon too?
I've been writing since I was 16. I think the first song I wrote was like in 2011. So that's how long I've been writing for. I've been recording music on a professional level since I was like, you know, around the same age, 16, 17, because I had a couple songs of mine professionally recorded and produced, you know, back when I was that young, you know, so I played all the instruments on it, but I produced it, but I had a guy record it for me, you know, so yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Sam. And then Brandon, how about you? How long have you been writing music, playing music?
I've been playing music since I was about 12, going on 13 when I picked up guitar, and I had played some other stuff too prior, like recorder and whatnot, but that never interested me. I also played drums for a little bit when I was a kid as well, when I was like 8, but then I damaged my drum set because I just banged it too damn loud and stuff. So then I ended up taking guitar more seriously when I was about 12 and a half, going on 13. That was about 20 years ago. And I've been playing ever since then. I took formal lessons, but then after a couple of years, I just started picking stuff up on my own. And thankfully at that time, YouTube had came out, so I was learning different techniques. And then eventually learning the techniques went into, I want to learn that particular song, and then also learning from ear training and also being surrounded with other musicians who were much better than me in playing. Then I just started picking things out and here and there. So that's what. And then also I think writing, I've been writing since I was a kid, you know, like short stories and poems, and then it just became like sort of lyrics. And I'm actually trying to get back into that because I haven't like really wrote anything in about maybe a year or so, just because I don't want to force the creativity. I want it to just flow naturally. You know, if it hits me, then yeah, I'm gonna start writing.
So quick tip you got here, you guys. I'm gonna post it in the chat. Your lyrics can start out like Dave mentioned as facts from your day, just an experience you had, or it can be like a story that you're writing and you can turn those into lyrics. So lyrics, you mustn't always approach a song from like writing, oh, I must write these lyrics in this order, in this way. It could just start out as a poem that you're writing or a story, and then you can convert that to lyrics. Okay, so we have another question in the chat from Keith. And this is for both Brandon and Sam. Brandon, you can answer first. Who is your number one artist? Like, who's your favorite artist?
Oh, mine's different.
That's way too hard. I can't just do one. I'll have to do like a top 10. So if you want to do like a top 10, I can do.
How about we do top 5? Let's do top 5.
Okay. I think I could do top 5. All right. So this is in no particular order. Van Halen, Michael Jackson, Dr. Dre, NWA, and Black Sabbath.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Wow. So it's like a mixture of like rock and rap and like hip hop.
Yeah.
I like. Dope.
Yeah.
And then how about you, Sam? Who? Give us your top 5.
Okay, so I think I might just do 2 sets of top 5s because I have so many. For bands, it's the Rascals, the Lovin' Spoonful, the Buckinghams, Turtles, Paul Revere and the Raiders, and then also for songwriters, it's Brian Wilson, Burt Bacharach and Hal David, Jimmy Webb, Jerry Goffin and Carole King, and then probably Barry Mann, Cynthia Weil. Pretty much all my influences come from the 60s. So I've been a fan of 60s music for as long as I can possibly remember, since I was like 9 or 10 years old. So all the stuff I love comes from that time, and I know so much about it. So I know, like, I just don't know the songs and the artists. I know the writers and producers and recording studios and record labels. And I literally have like a encyclopedic, knowledge that is like a photographic memory. So I can rattle off a lot of information about that stuff off the top of my head. It's pretty amazing. So
you guys, if you're ever looking for a music historian, specifically about 60s music, you know who to call.
Absolutely. That's right.
Okay, so a couple more questions in the chat, and then I want to pass the baton to Zach, because Zach has some questions for you guys too. Okay, so another question is, how has music helped your life? Like, if you, I'm sure that's such a big question, but if you can say like maybe just 2 ways that music has helped you in your life, what would you say? Sam, you can start first, and then we'll go to Brandon.
I feel like the thing is with me is that I care more about music than anything else in life, really. Because, whenever I watch like a movie or TV show, I just like, most of the time I don't find myself being very passionate about it unless there's music in it, or the kind of stuff that I like, the kind of music I love, or if there's a tie-in with music. So for me, it's like, I really don't care about anything else really besides music. So it's one of those things where it's like, for me, I guess the answer to your question is that music a lot of times has also been kind of like a sense of therapy for me, because I don't see a therapist right now. And basically the way I do therapy is that I write songs, and then I play them to myself, and and I record them, and then I decide whether or not I want to release them. But the point is just writing my feelings down and putting them on like a tangible form. It's something that I really get a lot out of doing that, because when you go to a therapist, it's a very similar thing where it's like you're vocalizing your feelings to that one person, they're listening to you. And that's kind of what writing songs, it's like you're vocalizing your feelings on a tangible form, and then whoever's listening to it on whatever streaming platform is listening to you. So so it's very it's kind of like going to see a therapist, and that's how I feel like songwriting is. It's just like therapy, so it's actually kind of cool.
Music is therapy. If we don't remember anything else from today, just remember music is therapy. Okay. Okay. So we have a couple more questions in the chat. The question for you and Sam and Brandon is, where can one listen to your music? Like, if you guys can just post your URLs in the chat, that way people can just pick it up. And for Brandon, if you have like a website or like an Instagram, just put that up there. That way they can keep in the loop of the development of your EP. So Sam and Brandon, just please post in the chat like your social media handles and your website or Spotify links or whatever that may be. Okay. And then, okay, so I'm gonna quickly pass the baton to Zach, ask a couple of questions, and then we're gonna just open it up for just whoever has a question.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring up, because as Sam mentioned, he is a walking encyclopedia for 60s music. So I've always found it, when working with him, I always found it really interesting to hear his music and how it closely relates to 60s music. So I just wanted to have Sam kind of share, or for me to actually ask, how do you go about getting that 60s sound and, you know, throwing it in with new music technology, new recording techniques and things like that to like replicate that sound?
That's a great question, Zach. So, you know, one thing I will say is that, you know, the technology for that they were working with back in the 60s was vastly 100% different from the stuff we have today. Just to give you an example, back in the 60s, you know, they didn't have, you know, computers. There was no Logic. There was no Pro Tools. There was no audio interfaces. They were working with these big consoles, but more importantly, they were working with two-inch reel-to-reel tape machines, you know, and basically that's what they were working with. And then and in the beginning of the decade, they used 2-track tape machines, and they wanted the 4 and 8 to 16. And they were using like top-of-the-line microphones like Neumann's and Electro Voices, and, you know, stuff that, you know, a lot of the major studios use today. And they were using like really, you know, good gear. And to be honest with you, you know, if you listen to my songs, you might think that I'm using a lot of that stuff, but really I'm not. In fact, a lot of the instruments I have are not the same instruments they used back in the 60s. I'm not using Fenders and Gibsons, and I'm not using the top of the line stuff that they used back then on my songs. Heck, I mean, a lot of times, you know, full disclosure, a lot of my drums are not even live. A lot of them are actually programmed. But the point I'm trying to make about this is that, you know, when it comes to replicating the sound of the 60s, you don't necessarily have to have the exact same gear and the exact same equipment they used back then, because, you know, a lot of that stuff is just so expensive. And a lot of times, a lot of people can't even afford all that gear because it's just so high in value that a lot of people just don't have the budget to, you know, purchase all that stuff. But you know, there's different, the point I'm trying to make is that when it comes to recreating the sound of the 60s, what you want to do is that you want to really pay close attention to the arrangements of these songs. Mm-hmm. You want to listen to every single instrument very, very closely and figure out exactly what each instrument is doing and what role they are playing in the song. What's the drummer doing? What's the bass player doing? What's the guitar player doing? What are the saxophones doing? What are the strings doing? Like, and honestly, you know, and a lot of times, you know, it's kind of easy for me because I have perfect pitch, so I can, you know, listen to a lot of these parts more accurately and try to figure out exactly what they're doing more accurately without having to write it out like sheet music software, like, you know, notation software like Finale or Sibelius or something like that. I don't really need that because I have perfect pitch, so I can, you know, figure out stuff more accurately. I mean, if you're, you know, I would, you know, definitely go down that route if you don't have that. But what I'm trying to say is that, you know, when it comes to replicating the sound of the 60s, I listen closely to the arrangements of these songs and figure out exactly what instrument's doing and see if I can take some of those same arrangements characteristics and put my own chords and melody and lyrics on top of that, take the same kick and snare drum pattern that I was using the 60s song, or the same, you know, similar bass line or similar, you know, keyboard part, you know, or a similar string part, and just, you know, create something and just create, like, you know, use my own music to go on top of that. And also, you know, one way you can kind of get around just not having to have the exact same real stuff from back then is that there are certain companies like, you know, Native Instruments that make, you know, pretty decent, you know, affordable sample packs that, you know, sample from like the real deal. But you can actually get like, there's this one sample pack I have called Vintage Organs, and it comes with all the different vintage organs they used back in the 60s. But that's one way you can kind of go about like getting those sounds from back then without having to get the real deal, because a lot of people can't afford that. I mean, just the, you know, getting those sample packs from like Native Instruments or, you know, a couple of other companies that, you know, that's, you know, one way you can kind of get that sound. Because the point I'm trying to make is that you'll never be able to get that sound because it's just, technology is vastly different. I mean, a lot of times, even back in the day, I mean, the sound of those records is so much about the rooms that they were using in the studios, you know, back in the 60s, and that you're just not recording in those rooms. So you're just probably not going to get that sound. But that's the kind of way to kind of get close to it, is getting those sample packs from like companies like Native Instruments, you know?
Great. So, wow. So, I mean, as you guys know, as you guys have heard, Sam knows his stuff when it comes to
yes,
music. So one, yeah, so we have about 4 more minutes. Just really quickly, one, if you're trying to get a specific sound, try different plugins and different sample packs. So just to pull that out of there. And so Brandon, you really quickly, if you can answer like 30 or 45 seconds, like are there any specific ways that you go about getting a specific sound with your instrument or when you're recording? And then we'll leave the remaining few minutes that we have for anybody, for Poppy to ask a question and for anybody else who has a question. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah. So for me, it's pretty simple. It's not rocket science. It's just plug into my guitar, turn my Marshall amp on and let it fly. That's pretty much it. And then, you know, tweak little things on your knobs to get like either a delay effect or some type of sound, whether if it's clean sounds or, you know, heavy crunchy tones. But other than that, I just plug in, you know, adjust certain things here and there, and then I just let my fingers fly and let them create the magic of music.
Great, thank you so much, Brandon. Okay, so Poppy, I know you had a question or a comment, if you don't mind just sharing.
I'm a singer-songwriter, and I write my own songs, which is my own new material for my album. Yes, that's it.
I'm sorry, Poppy. Can I was distracted by the chat. Can you say it one more time?
Yes, I am a singer-songwriter. I write my own songs, which is my own new material for my album, which I'm doing.
So you guys, so Poppy is a singer-songwriter. So I got her email, so I'm gonna connect with her. Hopefully we can find a way for all of us to work together. So if you're a singer-songwriter, if you're a musician or anything like that, please leave your email in the chat, and we'll grab that from Michael and Mary.
And Kasia, looks like you have your instrument. Are you gonna play for something?
No, I sing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Kasia. Mistake.
I just took it because it's new one. It's like a very beautiful instrument. I just bought it, but it doesn't mean I am a better player. So I just took it to exercise some. I can play you this one tune.
Okay, let's hear something.
Okay.
Thank you, Kasia. Thank you so much. And then also, as you're leaving your emails in the chat, please also put like in a parentheses what instrument you play. That way we can know. So put your name, your email, and what instrument you play. Okay, in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, we have to get a chord from Kevin.
Well, we just want to say thank you so much to Jazz Hands For Autism for an amazing.
Amazing. Michael and Mary, I'm sorry, not to interrupt. Since Kasia played something, can Kevin just give us like just a quick chord?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, do it.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Neasley. Thank you so much.
I like the drums.
You play the drums, Athena?
Yeah.
Okay, put your name and your email in the chat, okay, and also your instrument, okay? And I'll
grab
that.
I like to play the drums. I like to play it.
You like to play it? Do you have some drums there with you?
No.
Okay. Well, good to know. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Brandon and Sam, can we give them a round of applause, you guys?
Yay.
I just want to give a shout out to Zach for organizing.
Zach?
Zach is our job placement coordinator. He is the individual that helps our musicians find opportunities. So he's like our talent agent at Jazz Hands. And so thank you, Zach, for putting it together. Thank you for the great question you asked. I learned a lot from Sam's response. Thank you, Michael and Mary. This was just awesome. And I'm going to try to grab everybody's information from the chat before I go. If not, is there a way to save the chat and send us the information?
Michael?
Yes, Layla.
I'll see you Thursday.
That's right. We're going to see each other on, yes, we are. And I just want to say one more time, thank you so much to Jazz Hands for this amazing No Labels, No Walls Action Monday. Hopefully this won't be our last action together. Next week, we've got environmental justice. and art, and Layla doing a presentation on scuba diving, her
Oh,
scuba
that's
diving
Layla.
environmental issues. So please join us for next week. And
What time?
Well, it's different time zones. So
What time,
9 a.m. Pacific time, Eastern, 7 p.m. It's on the Facebook event and on our pages. So thank you all so much. And I'll be sending the chat. I'll send it to Jazz Hands so they have your emails.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you all.
And then one last thing. Sorry, Michael. Brandon, somebody's asking, where can we follow your band? So please put your social media in the chat.
Oh, okay. Trying to figure that out, actually.
Jazz Hands, just quickly. Jazz Hands. How do you get your screensaver to change?
No, you know, no. What's happening is that it's not changing. It's staying. It's just like my my head wrap. It's kind of, it's like it goes in and out of the screensaver. So it's not on purpose. I wish it would just stay like this so you guys can see my head wrap that I.
What is Jazz Hands?
It's a beautiful wrap, by the way.
I thought it was a screensaver.
No, it's not. It's just my head going in and out of the screen.
Jazz Hands. Also, Barnab. I think Kevin Scott Barnab.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for listening to me. Appreciate that. You know, all my information's in the chat. So if you just want to keep in touch with me, that's how you do it. So.
Really quickly, actually, before we go, let me see if I can find Brandon's. Brandon, if you just send me a quick email if your computer is on of your Instagram, and that way I can just post it in the chat. Thank you guys. I know we're 3 minutes over. Just give us a quick moment just so you guys can be able. Oh, Mob Hotel. There we go. You guys, if you look in the chat, it's at MOBBHOTEL on Instagram. Follow Brandon's band at Mob Hotel.
Instagram.
Okay. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Fernania. Bye, Zach.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Brandon.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Will be